Okay, so for all of you that don't know what this is a cup turner, and you use this to put epoxy on these cups. Now these have already had that done, but it kind of gives you an idea of how this works. So how this was built is 3/4 birch plywood for the platform and the two walls, and a pocket hold those in. That's how they're standing vertical like that. So what I use for the, I was going to call this an axle, I guess, is 3/8 oak dowel rods. They're pretty inexpensive, and the reason I did that instead of the typical 3/4 PVC is the 3/4 PVC seemed like it was a little flexible, and I wanted these to be as rigid as I could get them. And also what helped me with that decision is, so this is the end of one of these footballs, and I cut that off, and inside of it is practically like a 3/8 plastic rod. So I didn't have to do a whole lot to the inside of these footballs to make those attach to this. The way I did attach them is I used this gun, and this is mainly for hardwood floors, like putting transitions down, stuff like that, but it is a super strong adhesive, and it is like fully set in like 20 seconds. You don't have a whole lot of time to play with it, but it is super strong. I think it's going to be plenty for what this is doing. So to get a little bit more detailed, it has a sprocket. Didn't pay anything for these, so the guy gave me a bunch of these to kind of play around with and see what I could get to work. I got those from a bike store, and the only thing I did have to pay for is that sprocket down there. It's a 3-inch sprocket, and it was like $3. It was super cheap. So the way I have this thing set is that little C-clamp. I got one there, I got one on the other side, and that just keeps everything from moving left or right. It's got a little play, so it's not super tight, but it's got enough play to where it moves freely. And so all those are done like that. The sprocket down here, it had 3 little nubs on it, and I used a 1 3/8 dowel rod and cut it down and kind of made those little kind of like little grooves where those nubs can go in. I made it kind of shallow where I had to kind of really force that on the dowel rod, so it's pretty snug. I will plan to go back and use some glue around that just to kind of make sure it never moves, but it hasn't yet, and it's been running for a day or so. So I would say that's probably in pretty good shape. I do, like, the last thing I'm going to do is cut this, and I'm going to cut this at about 4 inches, and that'll be enough room to add another football. So this will be a 7-cup turner instead of a 6. Let's see, this piece here, I just made this for more of like a gauge, so I can place this on any one of these things and make sure that thing is running square. More of a permanent thing I'm going to do is make another one of these and basically make it like a C where it fits over this. It's not going to be touching it, but it'll be more of like a guide, just to make sure that that top one there is staying straight and it's not starting to walk off at all. I don't know if I'll do that to all of them, but I think I will do that to this, just because right here there is a little bit of play in the walls. It's nothing major, but I want to make sure that there's no chance that these things open up. I don't know if you put all 6 of these cups on, if that wants to make these walls tilt at all, but just in case, I'm going to put some on there to take care of that. As far as the cup turner, not cup turner, the rotisserie turner, I got that from Lowe's. Those are like, sometimes you can get them for 20 bucks. This one was 30, but pretty inexpensive. Super short little cord, so you got to have power pretty close or use an extension cord. But as far as the strength of these things, I mean, they're holding these things pretty straight. And I was told that that was very important, so that seemed to be doing that job. So if you have any questions or anything, you can ask me in the comments. I'll try to answer it the best I can. As far as how these are on there, you can see I've got a pretty thick bead of that adhesive on both sides of that. It's also inside of it. Haven't had any problems with that either, so I think all that stuff's going to hold just fine. I think that's it.